We are back so soon already. While patch 12.16 was just released, the PBE has already been hit by the new Dragonlands Uncharted Realms. The mid-set update is already there, was released to the PBE August 23rd. Here we are right away, just so you know, this new mid-set, all of the new units, all the new items, everything that's being updated is going to be released to live on September 8th. Before that September 8th hits, make sure you watch the rest of this video to check out what's coming so that you are ready to go by September 8th and check out what's in this new update. Welcome to the Dragonlands Uncharted Realms. Quick preview, 24 new units, 5 new dragons, 4 new traits, and a new dragon that was designed specifically for TFT. Obviously, there's going to be new cosmetics, lots of dragon changes, lots of little legends, lots of things going on. So the first thing in the notes here, again, these are not the official patch notes. They're going to be doing all of that in PBE for a long time before they get the official patch notes. We'll get some specific numbers. This is the high-level overview, generic stuff of what's going on with patch 12.17, this new mid-set. Departing from Dragonlands, you're going to see trainers. I saw this right away in Mort's video and was just heartbroken. Couldn't believe that Namzi was going to be going away, we think. So trainers are no longer going to be units that you can buy in your shop, at least. So Heimer, Tristana, and Lulu are all going to be going away. The trainer unit is gone. The Revels are also going to be gone. So Tom Kench, Jinx, Corki, Sona all are no longer in the game. The Legends trait is no longer in the game. So that means Anivia and Ornn are being taken out. Volibear is going to stay in, but he is just not going to have the legend trait anymore. So he'll still be there though. And then there's a big list here of other champions that are being taken out. Honestly, a couple that make sense. I'm a little bit sad that Taric, Thresh are being taken out. I love those champions. I'm glad Nami's out of here. That was way too strong, too OP. Sad Alawi's leaving. I love Alawi. The character's awesome. And then Pyke and Talon, I'm a little bit sad to see them go, but hopefully this makes Assassins playable again. I loved playing Assassins in previous sets, and they've just been completely unplayable all of set 7. So hopefully with the changes they're making to Assassins, that will shine through a little bit. So here we've got some new traits. So we've got Lagoon. So Lagoon units gain ability power and attack speed that increases at the trait breakpoints, 3, 6, 9, and 12 at the moment. Additionally, a Sea Stone appears on the board, storing power when Lagoon units cast abilities. All right, so that Sea Stone will literally appear on your board. It have a counter all the way up to like 100. It'll count up every single time one of your units casts an ability. So as you empower that Sea Stone, as it counts up, you unlock more loot, couple of surprises. Sea Stone soars and tracks power throughout the game, with more impactful loot coming as you reach deeper thresholds. So lots of new units here. Malphite, Talia, Kaisa, Zac, Seraphine we've seen before. Zeri we've seen before. Actually back as a Cannoneer, getting in and replacing Jinx, Corki to make that Cannoneer still available. Nyla being the tier 4 assassin. Super excited about that one. And then Soam is a new dragon mage tier 4. So should be a really interesting trait. Another one of those econ traits, so you can power up, gain a bunch of different stuff. And it's all based on your units using their abilities. So going to be a lot of blood buffs, a lot of different things to make your champions cast faster. Here's a little bit about Soam, but he sends out a Tide to an unmarked target, marking them with Tide Blossom, dealing magic damage to enemies along the way. So kind of looks like Seraphine's ability, just kind of goes out. But Tide Blossoms transfer to nearby targets if the enemy dies. After 3 casts, Soam's next cast instead summons a Vortex under each Tide Blossom, dealing even more magic damage to enemies in those areas. So as he hits everybody, they gain these little markers, and anybody that has a Tide Blossom marker on the 3rd cast will take extra damage. Should be pretty strong, especially if he's got that blue buff, gets those casts off really fast. He can be dealing a lot of AoE damage to everybody. All right, our next new trait is Dark Flight. Dark Flight will create a hex somewhere on the board to have a unit sacrificed. So this is kind of similar to the way that in with the Legend, a champion was sacrificed. So now there will be one hex where whoever is in that champion will be sacrificed, granting a copy of a random item that they are holding to each Dark Flight champion, as well as bonus health, and that increases at those traits. So if that champion that is sacrificed is holding an item, that gets shot out to all of the other Dark Flight champions. And the nice thing is, so you can't do emblems and things like that. So you can't make all the Dark Flight champions are now guild or something. You can't do anything crazy like that. But they are going to get whatever item comes off them. There are only going to be those 4 champions right away: Aphelios, Rel, Rengar, and Swain. But I can definitely see this being one of the emblems that you want to make a lot of. And the more champions that you can put it on, the more champions are going to get that random item as it comes off the sacrifice champion. The other nice thing is the champion that is sacrificed does still count towards your other traits. So if you do have a guild champion that is sacrificed, that guild bonus doesn't go away as soon as they're sacrificed. It sticks there. So it is still important to have that on, have that champion still be part of your comp. All right, so part of that, we've got Swain is now a dragon. He is a Dark Flight dragon instead of his normal shapeshifter self. So Swain releases his Dragonling flock, launching Dragonlings toward nearby enemies that each deal magic damage to his target, then return to Swain and heal him. So very similar to his ultimate in League of Legends. Should be a good time. All right, so we are also going to be seeing Namzi return. So while trainers are no longer the trait is no longer going to be in the set 7.5, we are getting Namzi as a playable unit. He is now a dragon, and he has the Prodigy trait, which basically allows him to summon his own trainer. So he will, depending on the game, he will summon either Heimer, Tristana, or Lulu to be an extra unit on the board, just like trainers previously summoned Namzi. But that they've obviously been scaled down to not act as powerful as a typical unit. So the other interesting thing about Namzi is that he's going to actually change traits based on the game. So kind of like Mirage and other traits have changed per game. So if Namzi per game summons Heimer, he will also be a mage. If he summons Tristana, he will be a cannoneer, and if he summons Lulu, he will be an evoker. So that changes per game, not every time he comes up in the rotation. Once you see one in the game, that is what he will be for the whole rest of the game. So super exciting. I can't wait to play Namzi, and the fun part is going to be playing him in a ton of different comps. He's going to be very versatile. Evoker, cannoneer, mage, all those different things. Going to be really fun to try out Namzi. Zippy is also being added as a dragon. Lots of new dragons. Zippy is actually a tier 3 6 cost dragon, and he's also going to be the guild trait. So it's going to be interesting, especially when you all of a sudden get that, and he's going to be able to add 3 guild. He scales really well off that guild trait. It's going to be really, really fun to see what those comps end up looking like. A guild can get crazy real fast. And then we are seeing Terra. Terra is a tier 5, 8-cost dragon, also the passive of Monolith. So Monolith is going to reveal 3 hexes, which I think Mort said are going to be the exact same all the way around the board every single game. Summons 3 hexes that grant units standing in them damage reduction. So basically Mountain Dragon in regular League of Legends. So he's going to summon 3 spots. Any champions in those spots, which could include Terra, are going to have extra damage reduction. So they're going to be much tankier champions going forward. So this is going to be really fun. Gives you another option for a front line. The hard part about this is that the hexes are going to be in one spot. So you will have to have your tanks or whoever in those spots. So if they don't match up with where you want your front line to be, that is going to be something that you're going to have to learn to play around. So another super interesting dragon. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. So here's a little breakdown with some of the other traits that are continuing over from 7 to 7.5. We've got Dragonmancer is actually going to be switching. Instead of 3, 6, and 9, is going to be 2, 4, 6, and 8. Jade, Ragewing, and Guardian are all kind of doing similar things, just to kind of balance out from champions being removed and added. Nothing crazy here. Just maybe changing a little bit on how these are played. Dragonmancer is going to be able to be hit a little bit earlier, so that should be really fun. Guardian, you can now go up to 8, also should be good. And then Ragewing is going to 2, 4, 6, 8. So again, same abilities, same type of thing, but it'll be just a little bit different style of play and which breakpoints you're interested in hitting for those. And we do have Astral being reworked again. You're no longer going to be getting every 5 rounds in the shop. You're not going to get the all Astral or mostly Astral shop. They're going to be giving you better power-ups, better Astral orbs as you get higher star level. So there's going to be different breakpoints based on the star level of all of your Astral champions. So if you start out with 3 1-star units, you have 3 total stars. And then if you have 6 champions and they're all 2 stars, that will be 12 total star power to go towards powering up the Astral orbs that you get. So we're going to have a couple different econ comps to work with here in 7.5, so we'll see how that works out. Mort already had a insane Astral video. Definitely check that one out if you want to see how perfectly Astral can work out. So we're seeing a couple different augments. Again, this is kind of the point where I don't want to read all of these crazy ones to you. We're going to see a couple different ones again with the focus, I think, really on dragons. This patch, they were focused on dragons in the last 7 set, even more so in this coming set. They're going to be easier to hit, so you're going to see a lot more like this Dragon Imperialist, where dragons can execute enemies, things like that. Age of Dragons, we're seeing a lot more focus on the dragons. So again, I'm not going to take a ton of time to read these out and go into depth. If you want that, Mort has all of that. But the hard part is there's a really good chance that some of this could change by the time it's actually released. All right, and then lastly, there are some big updates specifically to dragons. Like I said, there's going to be a big focus on dragons. Here are some of the changes that they made specifically to that trait line, and we'll see how it works. So first off, dragons are no longer limited to 1 per team. So you don't lose any of those dragon traits when you put in multiples. Dragon is now a vertical trait. So that is, you'll get, just like any other trait, you'll get bonuses, benefits for stacking more dragons. They still do take up 2 spots, so you do have to think about that. But one of the vertical traits is that if you get 4 dragons in, you do get an extra slot on your team. So basically like having a crown, you can put in an extra unit. Dragons now also cost 6, 7, and 8 gold instead of 8 and 10. So we've got tier 3 dragons now, as well as they brought down the cost of the tier 4 and 5 dragons, which is going to make them definitely easier to pick up. So again, I think we're going to see a lot more of them, especially right as this set kicks off. People are going to be loving the dragons. We're going to see a ton of them. All right, so here is the dragon trait. When you have 1 dragon, that dragon gets 500 bonus health. 2 dragons, bonus 20 armor and magic resist. 3 dragons is 10% damage. And then the 4 is, like I said before, you get the +1 to your team size. And if you somehow manage to get 5 dragons on your board, all of those stats are doubled. So that is some pretty powerful dragons. Pretty cool. I'm super looking forward to these dragons, what they can bring to different comps. I love that you can just kind of slot them into different comps, but now you can slot multiples, and it's going to be really interesting to see what types of team comps we end up getting. And one other thing that they added and changed up a bit is the dragon items that you can now get as one of the roles at closer to the end of the game. So they still have the regular dragon loot. So that, Mort said, will be appearing, at least right now, 40% of the time. You'll be getting just the regular dragon items like you were before. Now 30% of the time we will be seeing a chaos dragon orb. And they Mort basically said that this can include a ton of different things, different emblems, different items, radiant items, different things like that. As well, he showed off a target dummy. I think, yeah, it can be just a bunch of different things. Again, just from what it sounds like, Chaos Dragon. You can get just about anything in this. So that will appear in 30% of games, and then the last 30% will be getting the Order Dragon, which is going to be giving players centered around giving players a radiant item. I think Mort was saying that it doesn't necessarily have to give you a radiant item, but it will at least give you equivalents of a radiant item. So he was talking about, is 3 standard items better than a radiant item and a component, different things like that. So just different ways to play in the late game once we get there. Again, going to be really interesting to see how this probably won't change up the game too much, but if you are really good at figuring out which radiant items and which kinds of chaos items will be really good with your team, this could definitely change some matchups around really quickly and flip the board around pretty quick. So, all right, that is set 7.5, the mid set, Uncharted Realms. I'm super excited for it. Make sure if you like this video, you hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing more videos like this and hopefully sharing a few of the games that I actually get to play as videos as well. Again, my name is MediaMitz. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.